welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be discussing my April TBR slash March wrap up. Okay, so first I'm actually going to go over all the books I read in March. Now, the first series that I want to talk about, because I read an entire series, is the Dawn of the Clan Warriors by Aaron Hunter. This is the prequel to the entire Cat Realm series. This is my first time reading it. I honestly was super excited when I found out that oh, it's upside down. Oh. Anyways, so yes, this is my first time reading it. And honestly, I really love this series. I love the official Cat Warriors, and I decided to reread the entire series and found out there was a prequel, so I was like, I'm just going to read that first. So the first book is about Greywing and Cats, and they brave coming from the mountains to a new land where there's more food, more places to build and establish as their own, and they go through all that journey. Honestly, it's just really good. I honestly really enjoy these books. They are middle grade, however, this is very dark. This is a very dark series, especially the prequel. Yes, and so it's very dark, but it's also a middle grade, and I highly recommend them. They're so good. I love them so much. So yes, this was the prequel, and I decided to read the entire Cat trilogy this year. Not trilogy. The entire Cat series, Warrior Cat series this year. So that is those. I gave this series all of them around 3 to 5 stars. The next books I read in March, The Darkest Powers Tales by Kelly Armstrong. This is actually a novellas, like a book of novellas. The novellas are kind of set before the official trilogy starts, as well as after all the series is over. So, but honestly, I gave this book a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I was so happy to be back in the world. The Darkest Powers are one of my favorite series, and yeah, it's really loved getting back in Chloe's head, Derek's head, and honestly seeing new perspectives that I've never seen before. So yes, 4 stars. The next book I read in March is a book I've seen so much on Twitter, and that's basically the only reason why I got it. It's a Hades and Persephone retelling, and it is A Deal with the Elf King by Ellis Kova. I did not like this book. I'm sorry, I didn't like it. I went into it thinking it was going to be something else, and when I read it, it wasn't. So yeah, this basically is about, well, the blurb says, the elves come for 2 things, war and wives. In both cases, they come for death. Yeah, that sounds way more interesting than the actual book was. Okay, so I went into this thinking like, oh my god, it's going to be super angsty, it's going to be like love and smut, and I was going to really enjoy it because I love Hades and Persephone retellings. It is honestly one of my favorite like retellings to read about. So I was really excited when this came like all over Twitter and everyone was talking about it, and then I got it and it was it. I gave it 3 stars. In my heart it's like a 2, but I gave it 3 because I honestly feel like it's not a bad book. It's not a bad book. I just went into it thinking it was going to be something else. I wanted the romance, I wanted the angst, I wanted the smut. I did not get any of those. All I got was a whiny main character, and honestly I really loved the Elf King. The Elf King was probably the only person that I actually enjoyed like reading, kinda, but not really. But I loved him more than I loved the girl. What's her name? Poppy? No. Where'd I get Poppy from? Honestly, I can't even remember her name. So if that shows you how much I didn't really love this book. 3 stars. In my heart it's a 2, but again, I feel like I went into it thinking it was something and it wasn't. The next book I want to talk about that I read in March is honestly so disappointing for me because I wanted to love this book. Everyone that I know that likes Sarah J. Maas loves this book. And I'm a Sarah J. Maas stan, okay? Like, stan. ACOTAR, my favorite series of all time. Everyone hates that series, but it's my favorite series of all time. Love the Throne of Glass series. It wasn't my favorite of hers, but I still loved it. I cried. And that book is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. And then Crescent City. I gave this book 4 stars. At first. And then after I got done reading it and like it set in my head for a few more days, I changed my rating to a 3. Simply because this book was really, really long. And I love long books. I love long books. This book was too long for what it contained. Honestly, I think it's because I'm not a murder mystery type person. That's not what. So, but it was Sarah J. Maas, so I was like, I'm gonna have to read it. I have to read it, and I did enjoy it. I loved the aspects of trauma in this book. The way that Sarah J. Maas deals with trauma, it's just perfect for me. I did cry in this book, and honestly, if I cry, then I love it. Like, if a book can make me cry, then I love it. Anyways, so I'm not saying that it's a bad book. This is honestly, but it's not my favorite. I didn't really love the murder mystery part. I feel like it just dragged. The book dragged a lot. And I didn't love Hunt, the main love interest in this story. I didn't love him. I loved Bryce though. Bryce was literally the only reason I got through this book, because I loved Bryce. And I loved her friendship with her best friend, and the ending for me was so good, and that was the only reason why at first I gave it 4 stars, because I loved the ending. But then I had to change it because like I can't go through a 800 page book and only like the ending, because I didn't like the beginning. I liked part of the middle, and I loved the end. But yeah, so it's a 3-star in my eyes. It's not the best work that Sarah, in my opinion, has ever did. As I was saying, I was disappointed with this book. However, I feel like the second book is gonna be 10 times more better. So honestly, I'm not like put off to reading this, to finish and reading this story, because like I said, it was good, like especially towards the end. And I just know with Sarah, her second books usually, at least with the ACOTAR, phenomenal, stunning, every just yes. So yeah, I'm really excited for the next book to come out, honestly. However, I didn't necessarily enjoy it, so it really was kind of disappointing for me. So yeah, 3 stars. The last book I read in March actually is a graphic novel, and it is Teen Titans Raven by Kimmy Garcia and Gabrielle Piccolo. And phenomenal. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. It was just great. Like, it was just good. I honestly didn't expect it I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but honestly it was really good. And I did some research, and I found out the third book, well, the third graphic novel is coming out in September, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna read the Beast Boy in around September, so I can like pick it up back to back, because I'm just so excited. I honestly really love this, and I really loved the her adopted, like, technically sister. Yeah, I just love the whole family dynamic that was in the story. It was really, really good, and it was really, really well done. And also the art, like, obviously. So yeah, 4 stars to Teen Titans Raven. Now that is all of the books that I read in March. Now let's get on to my April TBR. The first book on my TBR is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Austin. I have seen this so much on BookTube. I know it just came out. It had to just came out. Yeah, it either came out, I think it came out in March or February. But yeah, I've heard so many good things about this book, and I'm so excited to pick it up. I've heard wonderful things. Like, I haven't heard one bad review, honestly. And to be honest, I can't wait to read it. And it is a middle grade. It's supposed to be kind of like the new Harry Potter, but better. Basically, this book is about a girl and her brother goes missing, and she is determined to find them, and then she ends up getting accepted to this magical school and all that. She kind of uses that to try to find her brother, and that's basically all I know about it. Super excited to read this. The next book on my TBR is The Boneshaw Daughter by Audrey Stewart. I don't know a bunch about this book. All I know is it's like an epic fantasy, and you're basically following this girl, and she's kind of being, not imprisoned, but used by her father, who's the emperor, for her power. And honestly, and I feel like, I don't really know much about it. I don't even know if it's, I guess it is supposed to be a trilogy or even a duology. So I'm super excited to read this. I've heard good things for what I've heard. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this book, honestly, and I'm really excited to read this in April. The next book on my TBR for April is The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. All I know about this book is there's witches and a sorority. That's basically all I needed to know. So I love anything with witches. Honestly, and I'm really looking for like something not set in high school time, because I'm really tired of reading about high school students, especially now that I'm not one anymore. So I'm really excited to pick this up, and I really love books that have witches like technically in a good light, because I don't really like reading about witches in bad light, like for them being the anti-protagonist or anything evil. Like I can't stand it. So yeah, I'm really excited to read The Ravens. And the next books that I will be reading in April, I actually already started the first book, and that is Warrior Cats by Erin Hunter. And these are actually a reread for me. I've already read these books, and I've already fell in love with these books. But honestly, I haven't read them in a while, so I kind of forgot what happens, and kind of. I still honestly remember it, and that's why I'm reading it, because I just love them so much. And if you like cats and more cats, then you'll like this story. Again, this is middle grade. Again, it is dark. I wouldn't pick this up thinking it was gonna be like, oh, it's just fluffy, blah blah. It has warriors on the front for a reason. They are cat warriors, okay? They are. So yeah. The first book is called Into the Wild, and it's basically about the main cat coming to join the clans. And the back of it says, for generations, 4 clans of wild cats have shared the forest according to laws laid down by their ancestors. But the ThunderClan cats are in grave danger as the sinister Shadow Clan grows stronger every day. In the midst of this turmoil appears a house cat called Rusty, who may turn out to be the bravest warrior of all. So yeah, I'm super excited to reread this story. Honestly, I just know that I'm gonna give these like 3 to 5 stars again. Like it's a 6-book series. I usually can read these in like a day or 2. So Warrior Cats. These are the next books that I'll be reading in April. And that is it for my March wrap up and my April TBR. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Disappear like Tada. Ooh, we hit the club, it's a movie. Your boyfriend